I don't think we outdrafted Misfits that much. I think the drafts that we played were just really our style, and their drafts were fine, but not really for them. I don't think their players played the champions they had as good as they needed to. So on an individual level, I think my players just played better, so that's why their draft looked weaker. But I think the change from IEM for us was really important. When you're kind of in a region playing like the same meta, it becomes kind of a weird agreement between all the teams. Like, we're going to play 1-3-1, or we're going to play this champion, and we'll just try to punish each other playing it, but we're not going to change styles, So going to IEM and having to play against a completely different meta, not just picks-wise, but play-wise, was really important because it was like the first time this EU meta was kind of like fought against. Normally everyone in EU is just playing it against each other and trying to perfect it, when in reality it's just easy to beat, and no one really saw the way to beat it before. So it was, I wouldn't just say like eye-opening, but it was a really good like exercise, mental exercise for the team to kind of deal with like our game plan doesn't work anymore, what will work now, and us like critically thinking and figuring out what to do next. Sadly, it wasn't enough to actually progress in the tournament as far as I would have liked, but kind of like the experience it gave was really important because my players hit a wall at IEM. We can't play this meta, and then they're able to break it in a couple of days in only one scrim set. So it was like a kind of a big morale boost where everyone was like, okay, we're actually smart enough at this game to figure out how to play it, and we're not like stuck playing 2 or 3 champions or styles that we can't change. So going into like the Misfits game, it was really easy to see like this is the way they play the game. Now we'll change our style to beat them, as opposed to we'll just like match theirs and outplay them. Well, I think UOL, like when they're able to jump with surprise early picks and comps, it gave them a really big advantage earlier in the split. And I think their like skirmishing and fighting is really good, but I still think their like overall map play in terms of like trading objectives or like fighting when they have a power spike, or like is this actually a good fight? I think they just take too many and push it to the point of like, will they outbluff their opponent or not? So when teams are more like concise and together, they can like call that bluff that UOL has, and then UOL will start falling and losing games. So when we first played them, I think this was like their strong point in the season, where teams hadn't been together long enough to really be comfortable with an enemy like pressuring in your face. And we obviously got a couple like picks thrown at us that we'd never played against before. Like the Weiteren, I think, was maybe like the second or third time we played against Weiteren. No one really played it back then. And now all the picks they play are things we've played against a lot for months. And now our team play has been improved a lot since last time we played them. So I think we'll be able to beat them pretty handily, unless they come up with some new surprise picks or something. But going down the line with like Origin and Vitality, I think they're getting better through like early mid game, but their late game is so slow. It's just they don't want to take any risks, which is kind of a way to play. But when everyone plays this like no risk style, the games just last forever, and you never really know how to actually win. You just know how to wait for their mistake. So I think that's what those teams are doing right now, is they're counting on the enemy to make a mistake, since that's a decent plan in League of Legends. A lot of teams are very like not 100% plays, so you can just wait for their mistake. And the way we're playing now is not really avoiding risks, but just perfecting our like risk versus reward plays, where we're still taking risks, but we are guaranteed to get something no matter what. So if they win early game, I think they'll stall, and then we'll take what we want. And if we win early game, we'll take what we want and end quickly. So I think those games will also be pretty easy for now. But yeah, I did tell Febby today after the game, like, congratulations, this is the last time you'll ever play LeBlanc, because that champion was just destroyed. So yeah, LeBlanc and Ryze are going to be out of the meta, which is really important since those have been staple mid lane picks. So hopefully this next patch is going to be really fun. Everyone's going to be picking up new champions since there's changes in the jungle and mid lane and AD carry as well. So I think a lot of things changed. So this is going to be another kind of like up in the air week where we're probably going to see some weirder picks or new picks become meta. and it's going to be like a fun scrim week. And when I say fun, I mean it's going to be miserable because everyone's going to be picking random stuff and trying to see what works. So it'll be fun for the players, but miserable for me because there's no solid evidence this champion is good, but enemy teams will play in scrims and go crazy. So when the patch changes become really one-sided, like assassins to control mages or like tanks to carries, like big changes, I think that's going to be no matter what your team is going to be slow on. But I'm not forceful about the meta, but I do push a lot of champions on my players because I get really bored in draft when I can only pick like 3 or 4 champions for each role. So I'm always pushing them to be playing this in solo queue or practicing this, or I'll show them a VOD. And when LCK finally plays it, then I have like proof that it's good. So I always just have a list of champions that I'm waiting for LCK LPL to play, so my players can't say no anymore. And yeah, a few are checked off that list this week from LCK, so I'm pretty happy about that actually.